Ugh. Hmm. I don't know what that looked like being delayed there. 'Cause what I just typed you brought up bare butt farts. I can turn this thing up. I'm going to do a poo for you right now. Like, it's not real urgent right now, but it was like on and off. So let's see what I got for you. Come good at that. Not that I should have to do that for you. Like, it's like people keep telling me, like, you think you have IBS or something. Like, I don't know, I just poop real good. Like, and I like it. I like the way I'm pooping lately. Okay, so by the way, I'm going to take my time a lot better with you here. You remember how long we used to sit on the toilet. I don't want other people bother me. They do. They bug me, and then they mess up. They mess up the like button too. Rude. Barge in on me in the bathroom. You're allowed in. Oh yeah. Oops, I got it on the seat. Flush, flush, flush. See, that's what I mean. You get people that don't want to be here for that. They left in a hurry, whoever. Either that or they're like, oh, fine, you're done. I'm not going to watch that. It definitely does make the channel grow, though. I don't know. I want us to reach a lot of people, and I don't know. I really feel a sense of purpose, like to with the fetish, like. Sorry, I started the stream a little bit late. You would not believe how many bugs they are. Actually, I think that I'm going to sit here and smoke and keep it in my hand, because almost all of them have been forced out here into the kitchen area because they have nothing to eat now, because that guinea pig cage is cleaned up. Where's my vape? Crap. It's stinky out there. I want your stinky bum. Oh God, I'm so horny. Like, I've been really, really horny. It's getting more intense still. I didn't wait for the urge to come back for that one, but it was still pretty good. Like, I kind of didn't think that it was gonna clog. Been like small pieces, like yeah. See, I don't know. Let me see something here. Was that poo chart called? Like, was it Burton poo chart? Bristol, that's it. Bristol poo chart. Type 5. Soft blobs with clear-cut edges passed easily. We got to get one of those. But yeah, mine was type 5, clearly. Yeah, actually, that was like classic type 5 there. It really does get hot in here. I just turned on both ACs, and I have the fan blowing. That's kind of like in front of the AC to blow the cool air around. You know, I gotta poo again. There's the rest of it. It probably would have been all at once if I would have waited for the urge to come back, and clearly it was going to come back. It was like that one morning at work. Do you remember that where I was like waiting for the second wave, and then I was just like, it felt so good when it came out. Yeah, see, that's all like that's all a bunch of little pieces. Like, I'll show you. Especially with nobody looking, I'm feeling pretty safe. It is hot in here. I gotta pee now. Sometimes it brings the poo. I don't know if I need more toilet paper. Oh boy. My tolerance is so high that I like choke myself anytime you even get enough to relax me a little. Oh boy. And this is indica. I don't even need to drink coffee anymore to stay up with it. I used to be so sensitive to it. Yeah, I used to smoke even one hit and I would be like in another dimension. These flies almost make me think that I might want to reconsider how I feed Bear or something. It's that lettuce being out in the open. I mean, those flies jump all over that. I don't know if these are like more like vegetable flies, but than fruit flies. They're not fruit flies, though, I'll tell you that. Because, like I said, they will get big. They usually don't reach that stage. At least I'm assuming, like, these flies are almost like they're very poor flyers compared to fruit flies. Like, fruit flies seem like they're meant to be that size. These ones, I don't know if they get, I'm pretty sure they get bigger, though. It's amazing how effective this thing is. Too, it's like it's a 1-2 punch to get rid of these things. You have to simultaneously clean Bear's cage and zap. And keeping at it, because I will tell you, there's nothing more annoying or a mood killer. You have a glass of wine and then all these flies go in it and drown. Well, actually, they die of alcohol poisoning, I'm sure. Yeah, they will go after fruit, certainly, but not particularly. I'll tell you why. So I bought peaches at the farm market. By farm market, I mean like where I get my raw milk and everything. Like, I was trying to. Something was stuck on the mouse pad there, the finger thing, and um, yeah, peaches. I got these from it's called Duran's Farm Fresh. Um, yeah, they're little peaches. And so I put them on the windowsill yesterday to ripen them up a little bit in the sunshine there. The flies hardly bothered them at all. Like, and that's bad fly territory too. Like this kitchen sink area. But the wave of them, this black cloud of flies, it was so bad when I came home. I just saw like this cloud like ascending, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I bet you Dundee eats some of them. I don't know if they really go in there. The flies are almost completely restricted to the living room and kitchen. I don't. I leave the bedroom open, and they won't really go back there. There's nothing for them back there. So. Well, whatever they do in the sink, you would think they could do with that sink too. But I don't know. They're weird and they're a nuisance. Yeah, these are locally grown, and they're probably customers of Karen's. Oh, I got a bunch of peach trees in my yard. Would you take them, sell them? Like if I brought some in, that's probably how that works. A lot of it, like, and it's so nice too because like, it doesn't have to go through all the rigorous stuff, like her produce down there is the local produce. It is a reasonable price because it doesn't cost that much to transport it. It makes so much more sense to buy local when you can. um, and there's Erie has a long growing season, and so well, you start, like, if you count fruit and vegetables, the first thing. Oh, I did this for you, by the way. I'll show you. These are frozen ramp onions, hand-picked by me. This is a big bag of the leaves and the onion bulbs. You can steam this. You'd be shocked, but this is not a lot of onion grains. Like this the leaves when they shrivel, when it's like spinach, like eating cooked spinach. Then, but it definitely doesn't taste like spinach. It's the same consistency as spinach, though. So I purposely did that, picked extra this season to put in the freezer for you and me. Yeah, because I'm like, well, I don't know when she's going to get here, but I want to make sure that she doesn't have to wait, until, who knows, it might work out that way that you're coming in March, or something. And I'll be like, hey, ramp season's in 1 month. It'll give us lots of good farts and stuff. Like, yeah. Ramp greens and, you can make a really good burger with the ramps. Ramp burgers, they call them. Like they're, somebody down south, especially, they'll be like, hey, I'm cooking up some ramp burgers, and everybody gets real excited, like they're very popular down south, even though these were picked pretty much right out of my own backyard, practically. Asbury Woods Nature Center. There's a part of the trail that goes off. It's actually on private property, but nobody seems to care about it or anything. And some of the trails go back there. I actually made videos of picking them for you. I can't remember if they're Messenger or Snapchat videos, but I filmed a little bit of the harvest there for you. People are always taking pictures of harvesting ramps, it's such a big deal to a lot of people. But yeah, I think it's weird that people up here, they don't even know what they are. But we have them in Canada, probably hasn't. And it's like down in West Virginia where they eat them. It's not like they don't grow outside of there. It's just people in other places don't really. Yeah, it's like a really popular West Virginia and Southern Pennsylvania thing. Even though, like I said, they may even grow up here better. Onions like the cold, and it's just the patch that I have down there. You drive about 12 minutes down the road. Asbury Woods Nature Center, and the trail's pretty far down where they're at, but it's such a large area that I know that it stretches on and off along the creek for miles. And this patch is probably 50 to 100 meters wide and along the creek, in the right floodplain area that it prefers, and it just thrives there. That harvest season for ramps, by the way, is pretty long. So you can start picking them around the second weekend of April is when they start. And then, well, I guess about a month. It's getting pretty late, like second weekend of May. Yeah, peak season is like right at like about the end of April. Oh, you could fill as many bags as you want, like down there. It's just They are everywhere. That's what I do, though. I fill up shopping bags, but as I showed you, the leaves before they're cooked, they take up a lot of space, and then they're really shrunk down when you cook them up. Um, so there's a couple choices you can do with those. The mixed bulbs, onion bulbs and the leaves. You can steam them as a side vegetable, um, or you can like saute them up with other vegetables and stuff. Kind of make a stir fry. And those greens in there really quite quite good. They're kind of it's like almost like a sweet onion, especially when you steam the leaves. There's pretty considerable sugar content that's left behind in that shrunk leaves. That's strange to think about, but there is definitely a sugar content to it. But you've heard sweet onion. Yeah, there are different sweet onions, and I would think that would be categorized like as a sweet onion ramps. Want to see it? See one? I gotta plug his phone in. Yeah, and the whole plant is edible. Like I think it's kind of wasteful to just take the bulbs, like because when you steam those leaves, they're pretty good. I don't like wasting it. And besides, you can really eat through a lot of greens because, like I said, the way they condense down. Yeah, as soon as that leaf is in contact with that heat, it just like spinach in that way. Which I like cooked spinach. A lot of people don't. You never said anything about spinach, but if you feel like um, responding to like some of this like food stuff, and I know you like onions, so yeah, I'm really excited about the ramps. They are a little different, when you do the greens. The the bulbs though, they're it's just like another variety of onion you haven't had yet that is similar to some other ones. Really, the bulb. I attempted to make French onion soup at one time, and it was horrible. So I bought some green onions at the at the store, and then I threw some of the ramps in. I did throw some of the leaves in there too because I thought that might be good in a soup to have some leaves in there, some greens.
but it turned out terrible. I have no idea how to make such a soup, and I didn't really look it up. I'm just like, hey, this should work, and it didn't. It was disgusting. Yeah, I bought beef stock, and then I just like tried to basically boil some onions into it, and then put mozzarella cheese in. It's disgusting. That was not French onion soup at all. It was beef stock with some onions in it. And beef stock's not. I don't know. It's just. It's got. You gotta really do something with it. you know. How was the gluten free chicken? Was it breaded then that have like because like grilled chicken for example is always going to be gluten free, but like so it was like breaded chicken then. And somebody hit the heart there. Yeah, I was gonna say I knew you'd do it again whenever I said something, and then I know it's about a 5-second delay. So how it works, for the most part, babe, is I buy um, gluten free stuff when it comes to like uh, frozen goods, like the frozen dinners and stuff. I go after the gluten free. But when I make things myself, I do not use gluten free flour, but I use this organic rye. I pretty much just use it for everything now because that is not rye is not gluten free, but it's not wheat, so I'm fine with it. Um, Gluten's not the problem. Wheat is, and it used to make me a bit unstable. Like blood sugar, blood sugar is really kind of the key to life of a lot of things. Like look how diabetes. I was talking about my ex mother in law's foot, and what happened when she didn't take care of it. Um, yeah, my moods back when I used to eat wheat, they were a lot more unstable. I was a lot more unpredictable um, because my blood sugar would affect my mood, like a lot. And now with for some reason, wheat just sends everything into haywire with me. Like I said, the acid reflux I used to get, that I call dragon throat, it would just go like, you just hear like noise from like, yeah, and it made it almost kind of hard to catch a good breath. Um, Oh yeah, I used to just kind of want to lay down, when I was feeling like that. All the symptoms that the wheat had caused, the inflammation of like old injuries would be bugging me and stuff. But after quitting wheat, this is why I'm thinking, like, I really, really want you to try my diet of just cutting wheat out and nothing else. Like, you keep the rye because it's not gluten free, but wheat free. But gluten free is always wheat free, so um, I consider myself not at all on a gluten free diet, but for matters of complication, yeah, because I eat rye and barley is the other, as I had told you about, barley being another gluten grain. I do really well with it. Barley is pretty healthy, but rye is considerably more healthy than barley. Cooked barley is pretty good though. That's pretty good for you. I have barley like in a box. I'll show you. Or a bag or something. Ooh, I forgot about those. uh, See, here, this is rye. That's whole grain rye. This is what my ex was. This is what she was using to grind up to make that sourdough that she kept going. She had the best results with grinding her own. So yeah, these are the heck. It says contains wheat. Why would this contain wheat? It doesn't make any sense. It's rye. Yeah, I get it contains gluten because it's rye, but why does it say contains wheat? It makes no sense. I see this came from the Whole Foods Co-op. They'd be able to answer that. Because they're really involved with their um, products they sell and everything. Like they are used to. I mean, they're a specialty food store for people who really care about what they're putting in their body. So you go down there and ask them why does it say contains wheat? I get the gluten, yeah. So anyway, that's what the rye berries look like, and then there's the barley uh, berry. The barley berry is oh, it kind of looks like couscous. Um, Yeah, and it's about the same size as well, a little bit bigger, I think. The kind of football shape. Yeah, I think it's kind of football shaped. It's maybe yeah, pretty similar looking to the rye then. Because you could cook that rye. I never heard of anybody ever having cooked rye. I wonder what that's like, but you could certainly do it. You could, make it almost like rice. That's and it will. It'll absorb that water. It'll puff up. But that's what you do with the barley. And the barley, like I said, it actually looks a lot like that on second thought. It's lighter in color. The barley's kind of a tan color. Uh, like my raw. That's not really showing up. Yeah, that does look like the color. It does quite a bit. I'm gonna get this guinea pig fed. It's too risky to paint out. Really, it's a chance of a stray shower. And then the one weather forecast was saying that after like between midnight and 8 a.m. it's supposed to rain like all night. And somebody else said maybe a stray shower. It's a big difference there. We'll find out who's right. Tell you one thing with this Canadian smoke, we're getting a lot of rain because of that smoke. That's what yeah, I think I had you on. I was like arguing with because this is the kind of things that Julie and I argue about. Like we don't get along at all in a way. It's this subtle little things. Okay, so here it was. I've always heard for a long time now because I like meteorology. I like the weather. Um, I'm pretty fascinated by it. And when I was in probably elementary school, I was taught that for rain to fall, there has to be particulate matter in the air for the raindrops to condense. They need a particle of something like dust. It's tiny like that. So I thought, hey, like we had that drought. You remember the drought? It was really bad. Like, but it is long over. Ever since the day that drought broke, we just started getting like flooded. Like the floodgates opened. Like after that, and we had been having that smoke for only about 1 week. It was the last week of our drought, and the air was terrible. Everything was dusty, the smoke, like, oh gosh, it was like, you swear, like a tumbleweed's going to be coming next, like. um, yeah, so I proposed to Julie. I said, Julie, I have not looked this up or anything, but I have noticed a major increase in rain, like, and rain from, a where there's some blue skies too. I've been kind of commenting on that. Is clouds are basically they're dropping their rain because we have particulate matter in the air that is, basically robbing these clouds of what they got. basically, is what I'm saying. And apparently no one else has made such a comment or anything. And I freaking know that I'm right, but nobody's even noticing. That's like, okay, so when we get in arguments about this, she says, she opens up the floor, as I knew she would, for a scientific argument and about how we're on very opposite sides when it comes to this. She says, it's very dangerous when people take a little bit of information, and, think that they have it all figured out, scientifically. And I'm like, Julie, I'm like, how long do you think that it really does take of going straight into something, and taking a close look at it versus going to a college or institution, and you have to take all these other classes that have nothing to do with what it is you're going to be doing. And so I told her, well, that system isn't exactly efficient, because it takes a long time when, if a more direct approach were used, someone would be ready a lot sooner. And so she tried to argue with me. And then, what I said, what it's about? Money. Colleges, universities, they do not want to lose that money. That's what I told Julie, and she couldn't argue with it. And I told her there are other ways of becoming an expert, in something. And I told her the system is corrupt, basically. See how I snuck that in there? I don't know if you heard that when we were and I'm not accusing people. Like, she thinks, like, because she's got this relative that works in aerospace, and they supposedly make parts for satellites. I am not calling your relative a liar. I am not saying that. Like, people need to listen up. Flat Earth is a positive thing. Check out Mark Sargent. Like, at one point we'll have to watch Mark Sargent Flat Earth Clues, because it's not just about flat Earth, but basically how escalated the problem of greed and stuff like that. But I'll tell you right now, Mark Sargent, he says we talk about today's issues with a silver lining, and that is like his line. He is some kind of perfect empath. I read it off of him, and I met him, and I was in his presence, and when you're in the presence of people like this, you kind of, like, I do. You only, like, yeah, there's a lot going on there. And yeah, there is something special about that man. He is the most gentle. He handles things so concisely. Like, I mean, he there is just something so loving about this man. Like, he just wants to bring the best, to the world, to shave away all the lies and figure things out together and all get along. Like, he is exceptional. He's in Seattle. That's really far. but it's in this country, and I'm sure we could get a flight. Like I don't know. I think you need to meet him, and because I don't really know what to do. Like, um, God told me that I'm like supposed to gather a bunch of empaths, and then I'm supposed to instruct them. Like, he's telling me to like teach, and like I don't even know. Like, when I tell you, when I teach you, I don't even know where it's gonna go. It's like a message. Because how I am to be your lover, your teacher, and your prophet. Protector that is. I was like, did I? The weird thing is too, these things have happened so many times that I know that if I gathered all the empaths, it's gonna come out. Like, I won't suddenly know what to do. Like, and it's so weird. Oh, he's all over YouTube, by the way. Mark Sargent. Mark Sargent. Um, I don't know how to spell that. I know it's spelled the same as like a drill sergeant. He is the kindest man. I met him and shook his hand, and I had trouble uh, catching my breath. Yeah, I was like speechless and breathless. Yeah. Look a little bit older now, but yeah, this is early in. Wow, you look so young there. Like gray, some gray, but his eyes the same color as ours. I think they are. I want to get another look at this. Yes, yes, it's his eyes. Now, those eyes, I know those eyes. Those eyes change colors a little depending on your mood. Blue, gray, green. Blue, gray, green. But yeah, it's the blue green is horny. Blue. Blue is happy. He was happy whenever they were. I actually noticed the color difference in other. They were more green when green is the color of thought. Um, when you are highly engaged in putting something together, your creativity and stuff like that. The green. Um, yeah, blue is happy. Gray, gray is turmoil. and they can be a shade, in between, and all kinds of um, combinations, because gray will combine with the positive ones. But I know that sounds kind of stereotypical, that you have these two vibrant colors and then you have gray, but that's how it works, though. Don't ask me why. Blue green. Pretty blue. Quite blue right now. I want to look at some more pictures. His changing eye colors there, and I gotta plug this baby in. I can't forget. Oh, and Bear needs fed. Ugh. Oh, what else there is, though, is a bunch of people pitch in, and we buy him an airline ticket to come see us. Like, yeah, you can. That's what he lives on. He doesn't take any profit. He just people people take care of him. I think that might be a good situation for us too, because we would never abuse money or power. It's not even in our nature. Um, that's what pure heart. I'm sorry. It's just the things I've been told. And Seroquel's supposed to, well, did used to keep me from crying. Well, here's the thing. I never knew life with you without Seroquel. Or with wheat. I probably would have just keeled over or something. That's the thing. I found the key to a lot of things, and our bodies are in sync. So, you know, meal plan's not going to look so bad to you either. I know that. It's like I said, I eat a lot of good food, but I don't really stay away from junk food. I was surprised to see Bruce. That one time we went into a Maryland fuel stop, shop. Um, he bought all these multicolored, extra large, um, juju fish things, Swedish fish. Uh, I don't know. Then he's like really regretting it though, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in so much pain now," and blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm fine. I bought a bunch of junk too, but I just got to stay away from wheat. But a lot of people, sweets really it causes them a lot of problems, and I think that's most people actually. But I think we're exceptions to that. I'm assuming that because I don't have trouble with sweets, really, that you don't either. Oh, your you remember when you said that you didn't notice a difference when you did the gluten-free diet? Doing gluten-free and making sure that you are gluten-free is a lot more difficult. Like there are things that you wouldn't think of that are sources, like I did not make any mistakes during my week because Karen had studied the diet a lot, and she basically we went over everything that I was eating that week, and it was then that I woke up one morning, and I'm like, I feel like 10 years younger, like energy and stable moods and yeah, it was always assumed it was the sugar, but it wasn't. Because I actually went with Karen on pretty low sugar diets, and I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel worse, or anything, but I really don't notice much of a difference. Maybe just a little bit as far as like inflammation. Ah, sugar helps me poop better. I don't think we're supposed to get away from sugar. That's kind of what I was getting at too. You remember what I said about stress, about anxiety? I'm built to basically burn it up like a furnace, and where there's nothing left, then um, and I go through the process unharmed. Well, actually, in the end of the process, I should say, it is painful. Um, for me to go through anxiety, but the thing is, once remember what I told you about my blood pressure when I went into the crisis center, and then how low it was when I left, and um, perhaps because I remember when your ex was talking about stress and how it can affect your physical health, and you not affected by your physical health when under crisis like that? Because I don't think I do. For some reason, it doesn't hurt me. I don't develop ulcers or now see while I'm going through it, the acid reflux. Oh yeah, I can get dragon throat if I get nervous enough, you know. But it's brought on by anxiety, and then it's as soon as it's over, you know, everything a-okay, and that is what I'm telling you is not normal. Mm. But I may be specially designed to handle that because I have borderline personality disorder. I can switch, um, and I switch moods. It's not that I don't remember, but it's when I go into a certain mindset, you know, like I funnel there, and then if something is in contradictory to that, I'm like, I don't even understand what I was thinking over there, you know, like, you know, and I can flip, you know, kind of where sometimes I don't know the right course of action, and depending on the way it's going, I haven't made up my mind yet, like what. Takes me a long time to figure people out. Sometimes it does. I'm not um, I'm not so bright when it comes to reading people, but God tells me things. Remember what He told me about Andre? God told me He works for the enemy and He wants to hurt you. Most people would be like, "Oh, that's schizophrenia." Like, no, it was like almost like a text went ding in my head, and that's what it said. You know, that's the best way to describe it. I do not hear the audible voice of God. My dad claims that he's heard that, you know, and I'm like, well, I actually never audibly heard him, but he's always telling me, hey, here's what's going on with this. Hey, here's what's going on with that. You know, like here's how. And he takes me through the whole process of a person's and jogging my memory of it, of a person's facial expressions and everything recorded in my subconscious, but I don't look at them, but I actually, on the corner of my eye, I see them well enough, and I'm staring at them, I'm studying them, but it's not. I have very good peripheral vision too. That's you know, I can be looking off, you know, like pretty far, and my head is kind of, they would never guess, you know. Um, this is probably one of the craziest things that I'm going to tell you. But that night that I was like superhuman, and I'm not lying about any of this, but it was like I could see all around me, and I could see like operators and machines that were behind me and stuff. Here it was actually like it wasn't like a normal image, but by sound, it was like sonic. I was like forming an image of their movements and everything from behind me when I'm walking the other way. Andre, I was watching, I was watching him with my back turned. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, but it was like it was almost like the my ears were so attuned to every movement, of everything that I formed a visual image by sound. Um, when I would look at a person, the dialogue of their thoughts was there, and I couldn't even. I'm like, no, this is, is everything going to be like this forever now? And but then it was, then I snapped out of it, and then I was so tired I couldn't function. Like I just said a simple prayer: Holy Spirit, give me strength. Like what? That night was. And what I knew too, like, is I felt like to Andre like I was exposed because I was conscious of all this stuff and that he knew it. And do you remember how we were? I was like tapping a rhythm. Then he and I told you that he would answer with an evil reply, and then his feet started tapping a rhythm, and it was hideous. And remember when I told you that he worked for the enemy and that he wanted to hurt me, and then that bright blue T-shirt. I commented on his bright blue T-shirt, and he's like, "It's not going to be bright blue by the end of the night," and just stared me in the eye. And then when he got up from that seat, my left fist, because that would have been the lead. I mean, I was so attuned, it didn't matter which right or left, like. But he got up from that chair. He went, whoa, boom, and my fist went. My knuckles went crunch, and I caught it with my other hand, because I was going to make about 2, 3, boom, and blast him if he was coming after me. And then I was like, and I told you, like, I don't even want people to know about it. We need to hide, and hide, I must, because people are here now. But I find, almost like you, as my therapist, I have to talk about this sometimes. And I hope that's okay. And I just wonder when it's going to happen again. And it was hard to control my darting eyes, like, and that's the thing. It was, and people assumed that I was going through some kind of psychological problem, but I was not, I assure you. and I've never had anything like that. And I've gone through some pretty crazy stuff, but that topped it all. All right, let's take care of Bear now. But I knew that would make them leave. And I got to tell you, there are evil spirits that know who we are, and they're after us. They've been after us our whole lives. When I got into kindergarten, this kid next to me, his name was Joshua Noggle. From day one, and I think it was within the first 5 minutes, he just started slugging on me. And he never stopped. And I've had people like that. One was throwing basketballs in my head. And they come after me for completely unprovoked. And I still have these people in my life that it changes like from person to person. But I believe there's an evil spirit. I think maybe it's an Andre now. He should have seen the way he was looking at me. Like these goofy facial expressions, like. You think your mother has one too? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's realizing a lot of different events in my life and putting it all together. Because it makes sense if you really think about it. Okay. Pig is fed. Okay. Whew. All right. You know how to fix me. It's funny. That is the big orders of the great physician. Good. You see, so I was not there to observe the change in your mother. I think actually that Andre, well, I don't know. This goes a bit into deep theology, but can a Christian become possessed? If you let Christ into your heart, I do not think that you can be possessed. However, you can be oppressed. And that does include the possibility that a demon can enter into someone who is close in your life. What I'm saying is that God has plans for us, and I think that to the way that your mother wildly reacted the way that she did, and there was no reasoning with that. And I speak of it in the past because her reign in your life, you had enough of it. You know, you have, what she's driven you to in the last year. There's something wrong with that woman now. Very seriously wrong. To chuck a phone out the window. Was there a big change in her behaviors and stuff? I mean, it pains me to look back, at our first 12 days, first 12 days of our relationship, and you had hope for her, I did, you made me want to meet her, But then what the hell happened to her? Oh my gosh. The way she flew off on the deep end. I knew I couldn't leave those peaches out. After they ripen to a certain point, those flies would be very interested, but they were kind of hard. Like I said yesterday, so I put them on the windowsill. Get some sun. Some of them even had leaves attached to them. I'm like, oh, that'll ripen real good. Leave the leaves on there. The leaves kind of wilted and fell off, actually. It's probably because not enough moisture then for the... As you throw them in the fridge, leaves, it will last like forever. I am going to make a little coffee. Just a touch of coffee. Crap. I'm almost out of coffee, babe. Well, I got enough for the morning. I'm gonna have to. I knew I'm gonna have to make a stop tomorrow after work. Right after work. know where I put that good lighter. See, I actually don't feel like taking a nap now. And I'm smoking the indica. I'm just like, nah. That'd be kind of a waste. At some point, I do have to do the dishes and get these muffins going. Maybe we'll set a time. 4 o'clock. 20. It's 19 minutes. And yeah, because I'm gonna want to watch an episode of what in the world did I start now? Yeah, High Water. Show called High Water on Netflix. It's like historical, so it's like a nonfiction, like made about real events. So I watched the thing on Fukushima because I was like, I don't really know much about it. What the hell, like I'll watch this, Netflix series on Fukushima, and wow, really gives you an understanding of just like how dangerously destructive radiation is, and people that are cleaning up there, they pretty much are like it's like a starting line, like shoot the gun off, and everybody takes off full sprint, like the people that are cleaning up the site, they're move, like we got it, go, like, and it's like, wow, like that's how you deal with that. Like, I used to think, oh, you put on the suit and you're fine. Like, I thought they made a suit that, you could walk into the reactor, like if you put on the suit, like that's not at all how it works. Yes, they put on all that stuff, and it's not really so much basically anything that your clothing comes into contact with or anything like that is highly radioactive, and then you got to take this shower when you're done, to basically you scrape off the top layer of your skin. Yeah, then they check you with a Geiger counter. I really never even knew that suit didn't exist. It's like, what made me think of that too is there was this game. It was called Maniac Mansion, and there's a meteor that was like radioactive. Okay. And then this like weird crazy doctor psychopath, he used it to power the house, with nuclear power, and yeah, so like I can't remember what happens at the end of the game. I know he sets it for self destruct, like nuclear meltdown in like 3 minutes, and then what you have to do is you have to take. You're in the suit, so you're fine. But yeah, you just see these like pulses of radiation, which you can't see at all, actually. But yeah, he's fine because he's in the suit. Like so. I assumed, yeah, that you put on the right thing, and then you have your own air supply, of course, and all that. But yeah, they do shed all that clothing off that they wear at the site. And like I said, take that painful shower. So this one, high water, is it's about flooding in Poland. I guess this happened in like 1997, right around your birthday, I think, actually, birth year, when you were born. So they had some kind of like record level like groundwater and stuff, and then they end up just having this massive river flooding in these cities, and sandbagging, and it's just going up and up and up. Yeah, I guess they had some kind of really, which is source of that water. I don't really you would think it would be raining a lot, like I know like they have high mountains there and snow melt, if it suddenly gets really warm and there was a lot of snowfall. I don't know, there's people that are like experts in all that stuff, and that is not Eastern United States terminology, knowledge, or anything like that, because we don't have those kind of mountains in the Eastern United States. And the West is way out there. It's far. If you were to drive nonstop, it would take you about 24 hours to drive to the mountains to the west. It just gives you an idea of on what a grand scale, and what a long area that is. The Rocky Mountains, like stretching for quite a distance. Deserts, like part of the Rocky Mountains, like in the desert. But nonetheless, I think we were talking about Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Yeah, where we to? Oh, a cozy cabin in New Hampshire, like snowed in. Like, what do you think? Like, you like the atmosphere that like you have a you have a like uh, hot tub on the patio. Because you know what's great about when it's really really cold out, when you sit like as long as you want when it's freezing outside, because your head is the perfect perfect for letting that heat out. Like you ever hear that too? They talk about wearing a hat in the cold because your head like loses so much more warmth so much faster, and stuff like. Well, yeah, you can. take advantage of that situation by being in a hot tub on a really, really cold winter night. Uh, it really keeps you at equilibrium, you know. Now, if the hot tub is really hot, like I know I go out and sit in snow a little bit, you know. You can make snow angels. Go straight out of the hot tub and go make snow angels. It's not so bad, trust me. Like I know it sounds totally nuts because you haven't seen all that much snow over there, you know. Like, but yeah, here we like to run out of the hot tub, go roll around in the snow, maybe wrestle, have a wrestling match out there, and you're just wearing your swimsuit. You're not shivering. Your voice doesn't sound cold. There's a lot of hooting and hollering, and I swear to you, you do not get cold for like a really long time. Oh yeah, it takes a while. some people some people try to say it's bad for your body to do that, but I think that the opposite is true. They're actually finding that it's good for you to do that. You know, go from hot, cold, like you really look at it, it's like heat stroke. Think about that and all that. Then what do? We have saunas, we have steam rooms, and that is good for you. But like, yeah, you just don't want too much. Yeah, I think really to bring your body temperature up, it kind of does relax you, and you find that you really enjoy things, you know, like afterwards. I don't know. Those are good times for that. Mhm. I don't know. What do you think about like after getting out of the pool, hot sun, having food together? Mm. I don't know. For some reason it like puts me in the mood. Like you're staring at your bum in the pool. Put me in the mood. I still don't know if you experienced anything that night too. Um, yeah, I want to ask you in person. I do. What it was like on your end, but yeah, it was kind of like everything was optimally functioning. Uh, that's what I was saying, like heightened senses and darting eyes, taking in everything in a millisecond. But that would help me hunt flies. it's best. It's best to keep in a calm, humorous um, manner about things. You think? Where they're all at by my eyes just. Ugh. Mm. Time is it? Still relaxing here. It's 3:50. I've done it. How's that happen? It happens every time. No, I am impressed. Like that thing was probably going to turn in like 2 seconds. Like it's like I don't even have to set alarms anymore. I told you about that happening. Like I feel like God reminds me of things at their due time. Then I get to bake muffins after this. So that's pretty fun. I mean, sometimes I do wish they would bake themselves, but I feel spent. 5 hours of sleep is not enough.
Hi. Yeah, so that snowman has been there for years. Then there's this. This is kind of ironic. You remember my cat Panda, of course. And we buried him. But yeah, this was years before we had Panda. My ex had this from a friend from the old job. It says, Panda loves you. I just noticed that. Always knew that was there, but I don't know, isn't that really something that I had a cat named Panda. We got a panda's colors, and that is a panda. And the panda is holding a heart. But yeah, that was our friend Brooke, because we were friends with this couple, Brooke and Sean. But I really did not like Sean. He was a hard atheist, and he was very aggressive, towards me, even talking about my faith at all. That's the thing. The reality is, uh, yeah, and it's okay, for someone to do that to a Christian, you know. But in any other, all these other religions, there would be some kind of lawsuit. Dishes. Yes. I gotta get that swatter. A lot of them came out of there, out of the sink one day.
All right, that duty's. So I should have came in swinging. A lot of them are back. Ooh, I gotta hit that real quick. In the laundry area.
See, that area has a lot of them in the bedroom, yet even though it's just past the laundry room. I don't know why I have two washcloths at the same time. That's what I'm trying to figure out. This thing covered in flies. towel. That's what I mean. So then the counter is always interchangeable between a drying rack and being open space to cook with. And there's no dish drainer to have some place to put it away or anything like, to do it either. So I don't know. I like this little setup. Yeah, because this thing's just, but yet it does rack everything up if you know how to use it real well, like I do. Because other parts of it are like strategizing, piecing it together like a puzzle. My ex always told me that when we got that one, which was a Christmas gift, yeah, she commented that she's like, I'm not a professional stacker like you. The way that I'm proud of the way I piece it together. So I'll have to show that view. Now the muffin rack, or I mean the muffin tin is going to go straight to the stove. I'm just going to set it aside because we'll be using that very shortly. And also the the mixing bowl. If we're able to later, I was thinking we can replace this dishwasher with one that works and works well. It, it was so funny because my ex, she's so funny in a way because she used to fuss that a dishwasher was unnecessary and this and that. And then she herself absolutely hated doing dishes. I'm like, huh? What do you want to do? Just throw them all in the garbage when you're done? She, like, she was meant to be with a rich guy, I think. They're probably going to have, in the next 10 years, they'll have an estate with a butler, and that's the life that she wants. She wants to be waited on by, like, and she wants to eat bonbons and adore her husband. I know she did want that, and I did not feel like, I'm like, yeah, the things she says, like, she says we're soulmates and this and that, and I'm just like, yeah. She just choked me out, like, with a fetish, Oh, well, I'm the one who's not right, so therefore I get, like, nothing. And she tried to convince me that I'm not losing anything by being normal. With nothing to spice it up. No foreplay for me, in other words, as I explained before. It's like I'm a guy that needs foreplay. That's the way that this fetish translates. So yeah, like, I mean, I really do look at it the same way. Like with Karen, my ex, and not ever getting the right kind of foreplay, I was pretty damn flaccid and struggle with becoming flaccid. Just sometimes when I was in, like I said, I never. And she always used a vibrator. That was the thing that actually got her off. I feel like we did nothing. This wasn't really a marriage, I believe that our grounds would have been truly warranted for an annulment because we pretty much didn't have anything to do with each other sexually. We were life partners, good ones in many respects, Doesn't make a marriage. What you and I have, and we have the gift to do, is basically disappear from the outside world and pretend that what you and I want is perfectly normal. I mean, we get to just, like, all right, like I said, we like the same stuff for the same reasons. Like, our thought process is so close, so key on. And to be turned on knowing that your partner is like feeling this, like because then like what that pleasure is like for your partner. And in being each other's ideal, you know. I was telling you, too, I'm going to explain this a little bit about being crafted specifically for my purpose to serve with you in being borderline personality disorder. There was a person, how I said that that was for purposes of absorbing your anxiety. That I'm able to deal with it is because of borderline personality disorder. Now, the most extreme examples of borderline personality disorder have been diagnosed for centuries, and stuff. And that is multiple personality disorder. This is the this is the little cousin of that. Basically, is what I have. It's not such that I don't remember doing something when I was in the, like other personality. But it's, I don't understand what I was thinking. And you know what? Some of those things were like leaving my ex and seemingly for, I think I made up other reasons and stuff. And I tried to leave her. And I wasn't even like aware of what I was doing. I just snapped, and I'm like, you know what? Get out. Blew up on her one Thanksgiving. Just came out of nowhere. I didn't know that I was going to do that. No matter who I was with before you, I always had a lust to find someone, the right woman, and in realizing, after you had disappeared, that when I went out, I could only think about you. Like, and I'm telling my story, to these women, like,
Yeah, and they were like autism dating sites, and I did go on, there, and but ended up just like I said, sharing my story with quite a few different women about how I feel about you, and how unique and irreplaceable you are. So then I went full time into investigating your street, and like I was like, I have to get her back. And I knew it was your mother. I knew it had to be. And she came in to surprise you in your room. I know, like we're not gonna park here long, but you were up late. Yeah, I think it was 2 something in the morning there. It's kind of ironic because Andre kind of gives me a lot of advice and stuff. Like I need to be careful, but I'll tell you that he told me to get these tires. They were pricey. Do you remember that when I did that, when I was down there in downtown at that tire shop and spent over $400 on tires? I'll tell you the truth though. Like I was not thinking I'm going to listen to Andre. What I was thinking is that my honey buns is going to be in that car this winter, very likely. So I want to keep my honey buns safe. No, tires are more so they're more so really good on wet roads. They prevent hydroplaning big time, but that can cause an accident too. So, and there's a lot of slush and water on the road in wintertime, believe me. It doesn't dry up, so the puddles, the ice melts, and it's back to the big puddle, and it's hell on the bottom of your car too. You want to wash that thing and get the good underspray at Delta Sonic up the street. Just get like a subscription. That's what I did for my car. And then gas is like 20 cents off, and you get as many washes as you want, and it's like $32 a month. But when you got a membership like that, you're not going to be stiff with your money where you're like, well, I did have this set aside to wash the car, but I really needed to pay this medical bill. You'll find some other way.
You always do, you know? It's kind of the way it goes. But that's like the money that I've set aside for, you know, I have not settled that account with Justin yet. I have to get my car like looked at, and that's I'm dragging my feet on that because I'm nervous, and I need to just do it. Let's see, maybe they'll even pass it. I don't know. Maybe it won't need anything. I know it needs that body work before winter. I don't want it to rust out. So, oh, this water is disgusting. That was flies and crumbs. I actually need to make that sure that thing's really clean because there's mice droppings. I'm noticing they're going after the muffin crumbs. Yeah, so I am washing this again because anything stuck in there from this last go round must be cleaned very well. Yeah, steel wool. I think stainless steel is antimicrobial somehow. But yeah, that's when you use that steel wool. It's probably stainless steel, like shredded stainless steel. Um, yeah, like for hygienic purposes, that's like what you want to use is stainless steel. Mouse droppings can be full of a lot of things that are really bad, so just want to be cautious there. Water looks a little better now. I love this bowl now. You know why? That was a fun date weekend. I think when I got the when we did the raspberry muffins up special for our anniversary. But yeah, this is when I brought the raspberries home in. Got this from Justin's. Like They're kind of like disposable, but I don't know. He had 100 pack of them or something, so I just took one and used it for the raspberries. So I helped myself to his fruit harvest there. And you can too. Yeah, if you want to come with me, maybe help him clean up the kitchen. You pay both of us then. And whatever money you get from him, you can spend in the mall like Forever 21 if you want, or I can see you. I think you have that over there. I think, and I think you said you liked it. I can't remember. Of course, Amazon is a lot of our source for kinky. But I'm telling you, you have more in the UK. I kid you not. In the UK, which is probably 1/50th the size of the United States, you probably have more poo and fart fetish people in your country than my entire country. I mean, it's about pretty equal, and we kind of dominate the the rest of the world. It is mostly United States and England. It's like almost 50-50 a lot of times. Oh, my channel comes up a lot of views from Brazil. Yeah, it's United States, UK, then Brazil. And it was a pretty substantial number, too. I'll show you my stack job when I'm done. I don't want to be out of view for you for a whole time I wash dishes. It's a work in progress, though. Yeah, they're set up like they're all like supporting each other. It's pretty easy to take something out you need to. It's so weird outside that it seems like the temperature like fluctuates. I notice it on the road too. Like, I was like super hot in my car when the sun came out, and then a breeze came in, and it looked like a storm was coming in, and there was like a cool breeze. Like when I stepped out of the car, I'm like, holy crap. It's hard to keep the house I think since the ground warmed up, that the ground is probably quite warm now. I think that makes a big difference. Because when the temperature was really going up, I was like, if I strategically open the window at the right times, like, and I did, I kept the heat away, like. But yeah, there's like heat coming in from underneath now, I think, from the ground. And it keeps you warm for a little bit into the fall. Come to think of it. It's like by now, midsummer, like, gosh, this trailer is baking. And I'm going to contribute to it because I am baking. I'm baking muffins. I have to bake muffins because I'm out. I have to. I need them for. I'm not gonna lie, like I love these big balloon pants. Like they're comfortable. Like I can put a lot of stuff in there and it's not uncomfortable either. Like some of them makes it tight or something. Or yeah, it's funny. Some of the videos about oh, what was it? It slipped my mind now because my subconscious was doing it. Now I derailed it by. Yeah, that's not short-term memory loss. That thought wouldn't have even been there if it weren't for the ingenuity that weed gives you for, well, some side effects. Inspiration. Why a lot of songwriters smoke it. Bob Marley, most famous example. Oh, you ought to see this movie. It's a Disney movie. I think you might have Disney Plus. It's called Cool Runnings. Check it out. Like you'll love that movie. It's about a Jamaican bobsled team. I think it's actually based on a true story too. John Candy plays in there, and he's hilarious. Like he was. He died a pretty long time ago. Probably about when you were born, I think. What was really sad was the death of Chris Farley. Chris Farley, that guy was he was a very complex, intelligent man, actually. Okay, yeah, this is a little quite sad. Okay, so he wanted to eventually get into serious movie roles. And he had a lot of ideas, like of, kind of different characters that kind of sounded like he penned some pretty good stuff, but that's the thing too. Like he had all these women, but he was really looking for one that would not see him in that role as basically a big dumb doofus. Like he did not want any part of that from a woman who, yeah. And he was so upset by that, that I would say under drug influence, overdosed, probably unintentionally, but his reasoning skills might have, and perhaps he did more of whatever. I don't know what he was on, but it was a lot of something. But yeah, he was a very deep, intelligent man, actually, and he wanted to break that out, and he never got to. And he died at the age of 33. He wasn't that old. Not that old at all. I'm not gonna lie though, I love the Chris Farley movies, and I mean, he did enjoy doing it. He did, and that's the thing. He did not want to be permanently iconized, as a big dumb doofus. But yeah, when I think of some of John Candy's roles, it makes me think of Chris Farley because he played pretty similar roles too. As far as I know, I think John Candy was a pretty happy man. I mean, he couldn't have been that old when he passed away, but I think he had some health problems. Yeah, so John Candy plays the coach in that movie. But yeah, actually, when you watch that movie too, that's not really well. I don't know because he plays a very inspirational role in there, so it really is kind of more respectful than the way that Chris Farley is portrayed in movies. Though he is very likable, though, and it's like there's nothing wrong with that, too, though, like, because, when you watch him in, like, Tommy Boy, I don't know if you saw that movie, but, like, the way he was in college and stuff, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy would be my friend. Like, he would be, one of the main numbers in my primitive cell phone, like back in the day. Hey, you want to hang out and smoke, I did so very occasionally back in that day. That's when I went like to another dimension if I even had one hit. Like, yeah, so I didn't do that very often. Oh, I would be all messed up, sometimes even the next day. And feeling completely lethargic, like I just want to sleep and vomit. It used to make me vomit. Yeah, I did head spinning on weed. Vertigo. I definitely don't get that now. I will try to check our chats here shortly. Oh, what did you think of our room? I want to ask you that, like, because I showed you pictures. Like, what do you think? Like, because you saw the regular bathtub and then you saw our bathtub. I mean, might not be that exact room. I don't know how many comfort plus rooms they have, but ours is a comfort plus. Right now, with the currency between our countries, this is like the best time for me to be going over there. The prices of things, with my American money are very affordable right now over there. Like, so, yeah, like out of, settling Justin's account, like it may be, we may be able to like, oh, we're going to eat so good. I'll say that. Gotta throw that out there. Yeah. Yeah, because the food is really cheap. Yeah, let's like gorge ourselves. I'll come over and buy you like lots of food to eat and nice dinners out. This is, you don't have to go at the restaurant though. That might be a problem. Some might be okay, but most no. You got to just hope that it's that the 30-minute magic, like the 30-minute magic muffins. Just enough time to get back to the hotel room and undo together. Getting the car all stinky with like, smells like where your farts smell like French fries. Because those go right to your bum. Like, come out smelling pretty much the same. French fry farts way home. I remember riding with my family because, okay, in my family, all that was so taboo and everything else like, and it's kind of what made me how I am. Like, I kind of had this developed this like secret naughty side that like I'm like, well, truth be told, I really enjoy a good poo, and I want my like everything partner to enjoy it with me, and like our little secret. And I kind of do a lot on that to like, I don't know, it turns me on to like be so secretive with others at times, you know, like just showing that, you know, how much more we mean to each other than anyone else, you know. And I'm doing fine on time. I know I'm like stalling on things, but like, well, eventually it'll be your bedtime, and then I'll just fly. Because I am taking a weed break. I hope it's okay that I got really like emotional earlier. There were like a lot of good things that was like really choking me up. You can see like that if there was no fit, why women would be scared off of me and run the other direction, you know, like, but you didn't. Yeah, that that taboo-ness that I was talking about. My brother, my brother, who was second youngest, we broke out of that together. We like dared each other to like fart, and like you had to like an agreement between us that like no matter who goes first, like the other is obligated, like, and because we felt some need to break out of that, like, so he, um, you know, it only lasted like a little while, and then I'm sure he was on his way psychologically to wherever he needed to go, and so was I. But um, yeah, I told you at length, quite quite at length, about my mother and my grandmother in my life and how I think that they were the cause of my fetish. It was a feeling of attention and security, and that translated later, in life by other people in a sexual way was added to that, but it was already in place as a sacred sort of thing, almost something that was enjoyed in the presence of a woman who kind of was very complimentary to me. And these are all very positive things. That's what I explained to you. And you know, that positive reinforcement, it got locked into like the very development of my sexual nature was then intertwined, entangled, and so it began to get turn into very detailed fantasies. And when a woman would so much as like talk about some pooping experience, like, and because back in the day, before there were videos to watch, or anything like that, I would like, fantasize like what that was like to be there, like, and then I would end up having a crush on her. And that's what I told you about, that I had a lot of crushes that were initiated by it was either it was either fetish driven, or it was angel face syndrome. Did I tell you? I might have told you yesterday. I went after women that had angel face. It's like that their face almost had like an angelic like quality. Maybe there probably was something about these women. I don't know if they were telepathic also, because sometimes I really think that I was getting messages and there were exchanges of giggles and facial expressions that seemed to line up with the dialogue of. But then they would never come out into the open about it. And I would be fascinated, with one woman or another. And it didn't change very often. But speaking of like telepathic, Michelle was the greatest example of that. She was the one with autism that was in that autism group, and I had the hugest crush on her. What was I? Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, but anyway, remember how I told you she saw me like a brother, which I did hear that out of her own mouth, and that shattered me like to my core. My ex was like, "Yeah, that's right," like that's what you get, motherfucker, because like she knew that I had feelings for her. I couldn't hide it. I had very intense feelings for her, but I told you about like we spent a lot of time in the swimming pool, because we would both hang out with her, and she was all over me, and that excited me greatly. Her body was fit just right for me, just like your size, thick in all the right places, like. But she has been nothing now. And before you, I could honestly say that, she was probably my most compatible before you. I'm just going to stay here and talk with you until I will redo the dishwater, because it's like cold by now, and like I want to stay with you until you go to bed now, because I'll still have plenty of time to make the muffins, because I do want to watch an episode of that show. I'd be content with just that. Get the muffins baked, eat a muffin, and watch the show. And that'll carry the muffins through the week, even though it's 2 muffins for today. They make me poo good. They make me poo real good. I'll tell you though, I could have 30-minute magic muffins. Like when I was at work, like 30 minutes after I could have gone. Like, yeah, because remember I was telling you, like, and it came out pretty good still. Like I didn't even have the urge when I went. I was just like, oh, you're here and you're here alone. I'm going like straight to the bathroom for you. I really hope that you are enjoying those views that are our little secret. Showing you my bum, showing you my poo. Now, if I showed my poo hole, like, oh, we would be so shut down. But no, I think that we are safe in doing what we're doing. And besides, I've been a little bit different since I have the plan is actually in it's in the glove compartment right now. I don't have it in my pocket right now. I didn't want to forget it and not have it at work. So, yeah, it's been sitting in the glove box for a little while. I need to still mark off the day. God, it's coming so close. This is just nuts. But I believe it's at 12 now. 12 days before my flight. Oh, I think it's making my stomach churny. Yeah, because I'm like, I think I'm like churning with excitement. That could be a really good thing. You realize, like, when we do go to sleep, we're probably just gonna like eventually just like pass out, like doing like whatever we're like doing, like one of us is going to fall asleep on the toilet, And it's going to be funny. You have that angel face. It's got everything else. I hate this, but I don't know if I told you about that my homeowner's insurance payment. Like, I didn't have my account number because I didn't have a piece of mail. I always get a piece of mail, see what my account number is, because that's where I have it. And I did a search for it in email, and I didn't even have the full thing. I tried to make a claim before when I had wind damage to my furnace. I tried to claim catastrophic wind. That's the thing. It did something, because the wind was so bad, and this is the wind that tested my shingles that I was talking about. Like, it was the most intense winds, I think, that probably in historical record, for like Mill Creek Township area here. The power outages were just horrendous. Like, but somewhere in the process, what happened is a strong gust like blew down, and it was like some kind of limiter switch or something and then that's tied into like this electrical system and that one, like, so whatever happened, and I'm saying that the thing was kicking on and off irregularly because of the wind. And I explained that the process of the wind basically crashed my furnace pretty bad, and I got an expensive bill because this windstorm, like, so I tried to argue my point, but that's the thing, in emails and stuff, I can be actually pretty ruthless. I really had it in my head, though, that I was going to be paid for being in the crisis center. You remember? But it did not pan out. That supplemental insurance that I had, they denied it. Apparently said that I didn't have hospitalization. I'm like, I really thought that I had that. And specifically because I go into a psych ward or something, like, I mean, it is a pretty new thing for me, but that's the thing. I only started to live my life after I divorced Karen. Before that, I was fake. It's like you were telling me, like, who you were before this was like you sound to me like you were saying, like, I never clicked with anyone and I couldn't perform and all that. Like, as a woman, of course, you are faced with an entirely different situation, and you could lie to him. And if you have, or done so in your head by fantasizing what you really wanted, I didn't. I was guilty of that. It was the only way that I could even function.
Just let my mind drift to those videos that I watched while I was on the road. Even, like, yeah, I would just like pull up YouTube a lot of times back in that day, like, and the old subscriptions and all that stuff is a remnant of that part of my life, when and that was self-control, was to watch it on YouTube and then think about that when I was having sex with Karen, because the other alternative was when I was talking to someone online. But my ex, but there was no tolerance of any of it, and that definitely included the porn too. It was absolutely. That's why I said too, like, I never got an inch of understanding from her, Oh, she so lovingly wanted me back, as somehow healed from this, But if there's any trip up, but then I was like, any trip up, being choked out immediately. I think all the while I was thinking, I need to get out of this, like this marriage. I say that I'm looking for another partner who is also married, because at that time I thought, well, I'm gonna find a woman who's got the same struggle, like, and her man like doesn't like it, and like we can help each other build up each other's marriages and stuff. It's because it's like, yeah, it's not that I like want to have sex with you, but it's almost like we need to exchange in that area, But these women, there were so many that I ran into. They were so cold. Oh my gosh. They would come, be extremely demanding, get what they want, and then just whoop, then they just disappear. And then they come up again and they do the same thing again. And it's like, oh, I wonder, which two women this week are going to be like on that part of their cycle that they want to come and use me. And at the time, I didn't even like. I guess I felt as much meaning and purpose there as I could. I felt very aroused that I turned them on. Like in doing what I like from them, that half of them would not give back. Because the thing is, honest truth, that is a core part of a relationship requirement for you and me. We can't even consider partners that are not the same way, and to a large degree, It's like not having to feel guilty for being exactly the way that I am, that I really am. Oh, I've known for a long time the real me that I like I said, I am so shy, actually. Like,
like in public, as far as like going in public, because mine are so stinky. Oh, yeah, when I was in a store, oh, I was having a really good one, and it stunk so bad, like, and it was like hot and stinky in there. I opens the door, he's like, "Holy," like, and I'm always like, "Oh," because that's the thing, I'm that guy, because mine are like really voluminous and smelly. Yeah, so what did this look like from behind? Like, you saw those little like shreds coming out. Like, imagine, and they're kind of like propelled by fire. This kind of comes shooting out. You can watch that. But I am gonna go nice and slow for you. Like, unless you tell me to. Oh, okay. So when you just oh, let it all rip. Oh, that's intoxicating. Oh, I see you, sleeping angel, my sweetheart. I don't know when you put up the sleeping angel, but I don't think it was too long. So, but yeah, it is time for me to quickly finish up the rest of the dishes, make those muffins, and watch an episode and enjoy a muffin. So, my perfect peach house. 2 halves make a whole. Oh, and I made that up myself. 2 perfect peach halves make a whole. 2 ways. It's punny. So I hope that got you laughing. 2 perfect peach halves make a whole. Make a hole in the middle. That sweet butt crack. Which I want you to. I told you about my, like, the plumber who ate too much Taco Bell before coming over, that I want you to be like, yeah. And you're in a hurry, so you have to do my bill while you're taking it home. Yeah, I want to do that. I can do it back to you. That's what I love is we can like reverse them on each other. The way we are, we're so amazing together, baby. Like the way we mesh, it's so amazing. Love you so much. Dream of us. Bring me into your dream and write it down for me, my love. Good night, my angel.